Hello and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play World Tanks, and continuing on from our last video's discussion, I want to talk more about how to properly use your platoons in order to split forces where needed and to kind of make that last ditch attempt to prevent yourselves from being capped in a bad situation and turning the tides when you think things are going grim. Now, right now, you see that me and Thunder are starting out going into the town, so we're just playing this as normal. No problems. We think that we're going to be able to push. We think we have enough people guarding the valley that we don't have to worry about it, and that we have the center road taken care of. So we're going to cruise up as normal. Now, with playing in a platoon, you really got to see who's able to do what, who can actually get anywhere faster, who can move around, etc., etc. Because if you have a slow tank such as the T-95 and a fast tank like an AMX, you're really going to focus on one either as a static element or one pushes while the other has the ability to move back and recover anywhere else. So it's a lot of mix of learning just the makeup of your platoon and not all running the same type of tank a lot, because that's, while it does work from time to time, you don't want to necessarily run like all Type 90, or not Type, T-95s, in which you are kind of one-track minded in that case. You all either are defending or all pushing one direction, and then that's it. You want to kind of make it so that your platoon kind of complements each other. Like right now, he's a heavy armored hard hitter. I'm just a very hard hitter with no armor, and my mobility is not necessarily as good as his. Surprisingly, he actually can move quite a bit more than I can. I mean, our top speed might be the same, but he can take a lot more deflective hits than I can, because a lot of things will penetrate right through this tank's hull, whereas his will deflect quite a lot. So, based on that, we come up with a whole sort of strategy of, hey, if I'm going to play this tank, you need to play that tank, so that way we're kind of working together. Now, I didn't take that shot because I noticed I'm not going through the turret of that guy, and I don't want to sit there with a 17-second reload and unable to do anything. Whereas I'm aiming at the Tiger 2, but somehow hit the KV-3 with that shot. If I had hit that Tiger 2, that'd be one less tank. But I guess it's not going to work out that way. And instead now I just have to sit here and wait for another shot. But as you can see, we are kind of working together here. He's trying to take the hits from me, whereas I just lay into whatever target presents itself. Because that way I'm being taking less damage, I'm able to do more damage, whereas he can actually survive quite a few hits, even if they penetrate, and we're able to keep going on no problems. So we have to start worrying about our flanks here, because we noticed that this 59 is cutting through, and this ST1 is kind of trying to pull a flank on us. Now, I can't sit here and take a hit from him, as I do get hit by artillery or something, but if he sits there in the front of it, he can take a hit or two. I can swoop around behind him and hit him, because from where I'm at, I'm not really going to be able to do too much right here. I'd expose myself way too much to him, and I just have to worry about this Tiger 2 and a KV-3 in front of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and focus down those guys so I can get to the rear of this tank and take care of them. As you see on the minimap, I don't notice it at the moment, but I actually do end up spotting that KV-3 who lays into me. I'm able to put a hit onto that ST-1, making a huge difference to him. Now, I'd already spotted, and it'd be great if our artillery could hit theirs, because if they take that thing out, it'll be pretty easy to have to take out their team and not have to worry about artillery shells dropping in overhead. Now, this ST-1's making a mistake in coming back right in my line of fire with his side exposed, so I'm able to really put him down to one hit left. I get lucky in the fact that he just tracks me. As I start taking hits again from heavier things like the KV-3, I'm starting to worry, because I'm down to about one massive hit from something or a minor hit from some other things. So if I can take out this KV-3, at least I won't have to worry about that shot anymore. So I see where he's generally at, and of course he's going to disappear. I'm assuming he hasn't moved. So a lucky shot does actually take him out, which is exactly what I need. Now, we don't notice it at the moment, but down here in the H2 area, we're starting to see a lot of a push, starting to take over our area there, and we need to worry about getting back there. But in order to get back there, we have to eliminate this ST1 and this King Tiger, otherwise we're going to be having to deal with the fact that we're going to run backwards and probably get smacked, because pulling out of this fight is going to leave us completely exposed to these two tanks. Oh, it's a T-32. I'm sorry, not a Tiger 2. Tiger 2 is dead already, because I just ran into him. So we need to get behind them, take them out, and then get back to base, because we're starting to get overrun. We have a full-up T-95 back there and a full-up Ferdinand, but one tank gets to its side, and that's game over for them, and we don't want that. So we're going to slowly flank around these tanks. Of course, I leave him with 80 hit points. Perfect for the Tiger 2 since he's there. He's able to reload and get him. And now we have to debate, should we both head back? Should one of us head back? What should we do? So for the time being, we see quite a lot of tanks, and we're not too sure of the status of our tank destroyers over there. So we're both actually going to head back. I'm going to slowly back up and head back over the top road. He's going to head back through the town, and we're going to see what happens. Now, this is a judgment call based on the fact that we really don't know what's over there. We're assuming one of them is the E-75 and an IS-8 and everything else. We don't know what's where. We only know that the T-54 is in the center there, and we only know that the Tiger's in the center. We don't know where much else is, and it does kind of suck. So we're just going to have to pull back, deal with them, and then we'll move back forward. But as actually Thunder gets closer to them, he's able to see what types of tanks are over there and the hit points left. And we then again make another judgment call. That 95's still at full hit points. We still have a Ferdinand back there that's pretty decent. We have our artillery piece. So I'm going to go ahead and press forward, because we think that all that's back there defending is just a piece of artillery, the Lorraine 155. So we're going to go ahead and move up in an attempt to try and split our forces. I know he can head back and take care of stuff, and I'm feeling that if it's just artillery, I can get behind it and take care of it. We don't know where that IS is, and that's kind of a problem. We're taking the assumption that he's over in the valley. So, with me able to push into their base and take out their artillery, we'll be able to completely surround them. We won't have to worry too much about their bases. I'll be able to swing into theirs and start capping behind them. They will never get back there in time. He's letting me know where the last spot was for the artillery, and we know that he's around somewhere. So we just lost our Ferdinand, and we have our T-95 left, but he of course is sitting way out here, where he's pretty exposed to artillery, so he might take a few hits. Luckily, our artillery hits their E-75, and that really does turn the tides of the battle. And even Thunder says that that really is going to help us out, because he no longer has to go toe-to-toe with that thing when he's not sure he can take care of it. Now, I end up spotting the full-up IS-7 over here, and I'm a little concerned because I might be able to take it in 3 or 4 hits, but I don't know where their artillery is. And that bounce is actually going to really hamper my ability to take care of them. I was hoping to get a nice 700-point damage hit, just so I can make them down to a 2-hit. So now I have to deal with the artillery, I have to deal with this IS-8, so I'm backing out. I know that I can't take this battle. I'm going to try and put one more in there, hopefully try and hit him, but I really don't have a shot at him. I'm going to just try and wind in and fire, hope for the best, which I miss. And then the artillery hits me dead on, and that really changes my entire game plan. I now have to move out. I cannot sit there and go toe-to-toe anymore. The artillery hit me. I luckily survived with 100 hit points, so I need to back out of this fight. I need to wait for our forces to finish off what's going on down there and then move on. Now, their Patton is the one that's down there. So I have Thunder screaming at me that they have a Patton down there to deal with, and they also have the T-54 right here. Now, he's in a very isolated spot. I'm going to have a really tough time hitting him. So I need to get a nice little open lane. Hopefully he's backed out enough so I can hit him. See, right there he's actually backed out, but I had no shot on him. Now, so this tank's going to block a great angle. So I kind of know that his butt's sticking out right there. So if I luckily hit him, which I think I might have, because I did not see an explosion, I might have nicked him. So I might have hit him, might have done some damage, I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to keep retreating, hoping for the best. And as it looks like, I might have actually damaged him, because I dropped him down, or he is dropped down to 200. I don't know if that was me or somebody else, but I'm not arguing. He's one hit now until he gets killed. So, with Thunder sitting there defending our 95, we have our Panther in the middle, we have our tanks, or our Hummel still available, and we also have a, what else is available? Our AMX, which is still pretty good shape. So we kind of have him pushed. That little Patton is not going to be too much of a threat. I'm not overly concerned with him. We certainly are fine. Now, if I could just land this shot, we would have easily killed him. but sadly he disappeared. I had a great shot on him. I could have hit him, but I'm pretty sure I just hit that rock instead, and that hurts because we needed him dead. That would have made a big difference. Sadly, it didn't happen, so now we have to contend with the fact that we do have the Patton pretty well cornered over here, so he should in theory get eliminated soon. Nothing can spot me where I'm at the moment. Their artillery might be able to guess, but I'm not too overly worried. I do have this big tank blocking it, and the splash damage on him is not enough that I'm concerned about, but it definitely will ruin my day. So we finish off the E75. All they have over there is the Tiger, because they call it out that it's just the Tiger. Now their artillery does hit the 95, which is unfortunate. That does take out our main defender, and we kind of did see that one coming. He was pretty exposed. But since this Tiger's easy to run over, Thunder's going to go over there, take care of him. I'm still going to be here spotting, so sadly it's going to be a little bit of a boring sight for a minute. But so right there, once that Tiger is eliminated, we're going to have to send some people up, try and spot what's happening. Luckily, this Panther's coming up. I'm going to have him start spotting for me. Now, this 54 actually moved into the town to try and counter us somehow, but he exposed himself completely. It was a big mistake because he's just sitting there wide in the open. I have no problem hitting him and taking him out, and there was no way he was going to deflect that one. So, with that the Tiger running away from the AMX and from Thunder, we're going to start collapsing now. So it was a very good idea to split our forces like that. I kind of attempt to push into base, kind of just don't really see anything. Only go after that IS-8 after I spot him, but then I have to retreat, kind of hold a middle defense. I don't want to push too far up anymore and eliminate myself. Kind of want to let Thunder secure himself while I prevent this entire flank from moving. So that's how you really split your forces, is you have to judge basically who has the best mobility, who can take the most hits, who would be better at staying as a static area, kind of holding the line so that nothing else gets past. And that's exactly what we did. We kind of I stayed put for the most part. I let him go back and defend the base. If he needed to, I was able to then run back to base. I didn't push all the way up so that I was either engaged or I would have been eliminated, so that it still allowed me to be able to have the maneuverability to do what I need to do. So you really need to make a judgment call if you're in a platoon, sending someone in, being able to take stuff out, or running back and hiding, whereas what I did was I stayed stationary, I held our flank, and then I let our my teammate go back and take care of him. Now that Lorraine is a pretty big threat, and so is that IS-8. He is still at full. Our AMX did hit him and was able to take him out. Our Panther, he's not targeting him for some odd reason. I would have imagined that he'd have popped his shot, but I think he might still be in the mindset that I told him to sit there and spot only, try and not get himself killed. Actually, I think his shot just went against that IS. Or not IS, the IS-8. But he's not really going to penetrate that thing. This Lorraine, on the other hand, would have been a better target. Now, my shot, unfortunately, only tracked him, so I need to hurry up, get another shot off, take him out. He's really lining up on one of our guys, so quick shot in here, finish him off. He would have otherwise probably smoked, I'm assuming, our Hummel. I don't know what else he was looking at. Oop, hit the space bar. My bad. So, I'm going to cruise into a nice, safe, defendable spot, because I don't want that IS-8 coming around this bend. I cannot guarantee I'm going to one-shot him anymore. 500 is kind of at the cusp. I mean, my range is about 500 to 800, maybe a little higher. But now that he's down to 300, I know I can easily kill him. So, I had Thunder get in front of me because I have the most cap points at the moment, and he actually has a better chance of deflecting, whereas if he hits me, I'm dead. Now, our AMX is down to HE, which is kind of funny, because it's kind of odd that he has HE and not using all AP, because if you're in that high of a tank and you have that type of penetration gun, you should always be using AP. Well, let me rephrase that. For the French, you should almost always be using AP. And there we go. He moved out. We weren't ready for him. I don't think he knew we were there, so he kind of stuttered for a minute, and we were able to line him up, take him out. So, that's how you really use teamwork. We sent back one of our guys who we knew could hold the cap, and then we swung him back through the center, and we were able to deal with it. Push through for the victory. We were all really hurt, really easy to be killed. So let's move on to another great example of how to properly split your forces if needed to help you get that victory. Alright, so I'm going to try and do a split view here using my buddy and platoon mate Von Choker's footage as well as my own. This is another great example of how to properly split your platoon if needed. We are all platooning together and all tagging along the same way. We have 2 fast tanks, a tank destroyer, one of which is a heavy with a big cannon, me with my super penetrating cannon. And overall, we're just kind of all complementing each other in terms of what we can do and what we can accomplish. Now, I'm reloading every 6.66 seconds, which is kind of awkward. Luckily, it doesn't show it here in my replays, but I'm fast firing. I'm not nearly as fast as that 5100, but I still fire relatively fast, and I penetrate most things I shoot at. Now, I don't necessarily damage too much, only maybe 100 damage to 200 damage here and there. But when you're firing as fast as this and you're penetrating almost all of your hits, not too worried about it. Now, we seem to have a little bit of a problem with our KV-5 being inactive and AFK. So that's not going to bode well right off the bat, the fact that we don't have that push. And that's one of our tier 8s, and we kind of are hampered by that fact. Now, we're able to push up here. We're sending Von and Kurgan down into the actual valley there to kind of duke things out, while I kind of cruise up here in the town. Now, I spot a little bit of heavy TD-ness, and it's, I'm spotted, so I know that I'm in trouble. Luckily, I can penetrate both of these guys fairly easily and not have to worry too much about the damage they're going to do. But that IS-6, on the other hand, is going to be a big problem. So I need to back out. I cannot contend with what's there. Now, I know this ISU, or this SU-100's right there. It's about the only target I have. I have this IS-6 right here shooting at my area. I'm not able to really do anything to him. I have the Jagdpanzer 4 sitting there looking at me too. So I'm trying to use this little building as cover. I decided this just ain't going to work out well at all. So I'm going to go ahead and run away. Now, as I run away, I notice that Von has also taken damage, heavy damage from artillery. And he is one-shottable. So sadly, he was stuck out there trying to take down that KV-5, which was a necessary kill. Otherwise, he was going to get behind us. But he has taken some pretty significant hits from the artillery. Now, I can't do too much. I'm up here on the hillside, so I'm going to have to get all the way down and around while they're kind of exposed. Actually, he's going to get lucky and get missed by that IS that would have otherwise killed him because, let's be honest, an AMX has no armor. So he got really lucky that that thing just missed him, and he didn't end up getting killed. Now, he's going to play it a little bit safe where he's at, kind of hold him in there, where I'm going to push up with Kurgan and his Jagdpanzer 2, or Jagdpanther Mark II, rather. And I'm going to try and go after this artillery, because he's really the bane of our existence at the moment. Once we eliminate him, really not going to have too much to worry about in terms of things raining down on our heads. And we'll be able to really use our terrain and everything else to our advantage. Now, this Easy 8's kind of going to be a pain because I can either focus on him or focus on the artillery, and I'd much rather take out this artillery. So, take a few hits from him, dodge the rest. Luckily, Von Choker and Kurgan are going to come up behind me, take care of the Easy 8. I'm actually going to push into the cap because I know that the majority of their forces are all engaged elsewhere, while I leave Von and Kurgan to go and take out some of these bigger tanks behind me, thus freeing me up and not having to worry too much about things while I sit on this cap. So Von's going to get lucky, and I believe at this point he actually gets hit, but just tracked by the guys. Now I'm going to go after this AFK thing right here, the little 12T. Well, sadly I missed, but I really need to take care of him so that I'm not spotted this whole time and they don't know my positioning. So, sadly I can't see them, but they can easily see me because of this 12T being AFK right next to me. So the sooner I take him out, the quicker that I can start using my advantage of that little ability to know when I'm spotted, and thus being able to hide behind stuff. So I'll take a shot at him here and there. Sadly, this T-150 has come up with a buddy, and I was not ready for it. I was not aware of the fact that they were still on this area, able to come back, and that really has stopped me. Now, I'm able to use the little bit of low terrain here to my advantage, while Kurgan takes out the T-44. Now, I really want this AMX dead. Once I get him taken care of, I'm going to be a little bit more in the clear. So, now that he's dead, I'm no longer able to be spotted automatically. And luckily, Von's able to take out this IS that otherwise would have been able to kill him. So, we're sitting high and mighty at the moment. We're still down pretty heavily. And this KV-4 is really starting to worry me. And we do have something collapsing in on our base. We have an AFK KV-5 and our artillery, which is now being pushed. KV-5 is not going to be able to do anything. That artillery's dead. I have this T-150 hitting me. Luckily, he doesn't do too much damage. I'm able to take him out, hopefully with some ease. I'm still worried about this KV-4, which is pushing up on me. I have nice side shots on him. I hit him, and then lo and behold, an M36 shows up as well. So, not only do I have a tank destroyer looking at me, I have a super heavy looking at me, which I'm having trouble penetrating. Now, he hits me and does damage. I'm dodging the bullets on this M36. I get a lucky deflect as I kill him. Now, this KV-4 is still pushing up on me, and I'm still trying to kill this M36 because he was able to penetrate me, no problem. But with any luck, Kurgan takes him out, so I no longer have to worry about that thing. I need to aim carefully. My ammo rack's shot. I have 73 hit points. I now have the secure. We know that their entire force is up here, and for some ungodly reason, they're focusing on that KV-5 instead of all hopping on that cap. I don't know why, because that would have made a huge difference. Now, Vaughn, as we can see, is playing a little bit of peekaboo with their IS-6, who had the majority of their cap points because no one else is on the cap. So he's going to sit there, duke it out for a little bit. That KV-5 goes down in flames, so we're not going to have that automatic spot anymore like this 12T was providing me. Vaughn's going to take out that IS-6. That's going to really give us the win right there because no one else is on top. We have Kurgan with a little bit of instigation there, as our platoon really did hold the line there. I mean, a lot of our teams did do some heavy damage, so while we got the kills, we are kind of negating the damage aspect it did. So Vaughn gets overrun by the M36, but it's going to be too little too late. We hold the cap. They didn't hop on the cap like they should have and ignored that KV-5 that was AFK. And so we're going to pull out a squeaky victory there. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for us. So as you can see there, we sort of pulled it out. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you see how we were able to split our forces there. We sent Vaughn back to the back just so that he can take care of things. We were able to really do some heavy damage. We were able to hold the cap while we sacrificed one guy just to get them off the cap because I was hit, and if he didn't go back there, take out their other tank, and then get killed himself, they would have easily overrun us, and we would have been able to get that victory. So we split our forces at the right moment, sent back our fastest tank while I was already engaged here. I held here. We were able to bring up our tank destroyer to help stop anything coming against me like that KV-4, and it really proved to work. They were too busy concerned with an AFK guy. Vaughn was able to stop them from capping, and I was able to cap. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about platooning and capping and splitting your forces as needed in a last-ditch effort to pull out that victory, and you got to sometimes sacrifice yourself. But it worked out, so thank you for tuning in, guys, and I hope to catch you guys in the next episode.